This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
The number one selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, dear listener. That's another little plug to one of our friends who's down under. Welcome to yet another Dockers Debate show where we are joined by somebody from Phoenix Sports. And this is this will be an interesting one because we've obviously got that little bit of a rivalry for this weekend's game. But obviously, I am the host with Rob, and also we have Dave Claggett, otherwise known as Claggy, from Phoenix. How are we, Claggy?
I'm very well, thank you, Michael.
Firstly, happy Christmas to you. I know we're a couple of days later now, but, better late than never.
Yep, and to you too.
Yep, and obviously all Erith Town listeners as well.
Of course.
Absolutely. How are we doing, Rob?
Yeah, not too bad. Suffering from too much chocolate and alcohol and all the usual Christmas things. But yeah, doing fine.
Or as you like to call it, Monday.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, we'll jump straight in, Claggy, because we know we will touch on it at the end about you've got a big occasion coming up. But so we know your time is of the essence and all that. Let's not beat around the bush and serious conversation. Bit of a tough one for Phoenix. Tough start to the season.
We've had a very tough season, both on and off the pitch. With I'm sure you've heard about a few good people at Phoenix who sadly not with us anymore. But yeah, the football side of this season has been extremely tough. Going back to the end of last season, really, when we managed to secure our status in the Isthmian South East, and then we had a complete change of management. And Keith McMahon came in with a brand new set of players right at the start of the season, and that Keith was in charge when we played you guys at your ground earlier on when you beat us 2-0.
Yep.
And then we had some new people coming into Phoenix on the ownership side, and after about 9 games, we had another complete change of management and playing staff as well.
I was going to say that was one of the things as well. In the nicest way, we obviously follow a lot of the social medias and see what's going on. And you let's not beat around the bush. Non-league football is a bit of a merry-go-round sometimes. You'll get a lot of players who move around, and by the end of the season, some will have about 3 or 4 clubs. But there was a spell a couple of weeks ago, especially where Phoenix, there was a lot of we've signed this amount of players, these players have gone, this has moved on. There's been a lot of overhaul recently.
I just had a look at the team that we put out against you in August, and we have 2 players left from that squad, or 3, but one of them's long-term injured. So we've got 2 players who are left, who played against you on the 26th of August. That's it, out of our entire squad.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, for a neutral, and again, this isn't me poking any bears or anything like that, but Phoenix has been sort of quite an exciting place to be, as you say. 2 years ago you obviously dropped down to Skeffel, but then you won that playoff against VCD and went back up. Last season you obviously stayed up again, secured your status, and this season, again, the start wasn't great, but you've actually picked up a few wins in the last couple of months, and for a little while ago when you were looking completely adrift, you've had a bit of a run.
we've picked up some points lately. We had a bit of a bad one on Boxing Day away at Croydon. We got a bit of a stuffing off them. But we had a great win at Ashford the other week when we beat them.
Absolutely.
And that's going into Boxing Day. We were quite hopeful. That didn't work out too well. And then on Saturday, quick turnaround, we played Erith Town and managed to beat them with an 87th-minute winner. So I think it's coming together. It's been very difficult, obviously, with two completely new management teams and new
Plan
squad.
stuff, yeah.
So I think we've picked up under the current management team of Darren, Anslow, Bradley Pritchard, and Sam Clark Keane. I think we've picked up 13 points out of 15 games, whereas earlier in the season we had 1 point from the first 9.
Yeah,
so,
and the thing is as well. One thing I will say with Phoenix is that we spoke to Littlehampton, someone from Littlehampton a little while ago, and they were saying obviously when there was a lot of success, they were getting a lot of fans, and that sort of kind of dwindled away a little bit. You're still getting pretty good numbers down in Crayford.
Yeah, we are. We're getting just above our average. Everything's good. It takes a bit of time. Obviously, new people. Nobody knew anyone. Nobody knew the players. But it's all starting to gel together. Obviously, I do the turnstile, so I meet all the players as they come in and introduce themselves. It's all picking up. There's a good feeling around at the minute. There's definitely a good feeling around the place, and we're going to 2025 hoping we can continue that and pick up some more points and get out of the bottom 4 and stay up. I think that's our aim this season, is just to stabilise what's been a bit of a turbulent time and push on and get out of the bottom 4 and have another go next season when we can build over the summer and go again.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, anything you want to add?
I was going to say, there's like you were rock bottom for a while, but you're now not. You've moved up. You're a couple of points. You're still in the drop zone, but you've gone a couple of points up and a couple of places up. And there's still a lot of football to play between now and the end of the season. A lot. Now there's a lot of games to play in this. Are you confident? Because you're only 3 points, which is only 1 win off of Littlehampton, and they're safe. So technically speaking. So do you think you've got what it takes, or you will have what it takes to stave off relegation?
I think we will. As I say, the results have been picking up. It's hard when you're still formulating a team and the management boys, they're still looking to bring in players, I'm sure. And obviously they've got a different way of working from previously. But it's all coming together. Certainly at the weekend, the first half, we were a goal down after 2 minutes, looking a bit rocky, stabilised things just towards half time. Second half came out, we were a different side, and we were, we just couldn't get that winner, and then it popped up at the end. And, everyone was really pleased with it, especially coming off the reaction from Boxing Day, where we didn't really turn up, to be honest, and on the back of the Ashford win. So, we're hopeful going into 2025 that things will keep on that upward trajectory and we should get out of it. Obviously, football, as you say, there's a lot of football to be played, a lot of football for all the teams. So you never know. And I'm sure the management boys will strengthen the side even more if they can. They're working hard to get things turned around, and that's the way we're looking at the minute, up rather than down.
What about like sort of youths and under 23s and 18s and anything like that? I mean, is there any? I mean, without trying to divulge too much information, is it something always reliant on bringing externals in, or could you get some youth coming through?
We haven't got a 23s. The 18s, I'm not sure. I don't see a lot of the 18s. I don't know whether there's anyone down there that's worth them having a look at. I'm sure they are.
Yeah, but it might be a bit early for them.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a very young side now. I mean, some of the boys are quite young, only in their early 20s. Some of them haven't played at this level before. Some of them have. So it's a bit of a mix, but and obviously we've got some experienced heads in there to keep the younger ones ticking over. It's a work in progress, definitely. But Darren and Bradley and Sam are doing all they can, and so we're looking upwards as we go into 2025. We're quite positive. I'm sure we can get out of the bottom four, out of the drop zone, and maintain our place and push up.
Yeah, I think the thing is that, I mean, when we watched Erith versus Phoenix, obviously at the Stanmore, obviously you had the 2-0, and in truth, even with an Erith Town hat on, I do think Erith did dominate the game.
Totally.
But in truth, I do think that we've as Erith have played other teams like the Hives, even teams like East Grinstead, and for me, Phoenix certainly ain't the worst team we played this year.
No, that going back to that day, we were not at the races there. I mean, 2-0 was quite flattering, really. You could have easily finished us off more than that. But yeah, we've had some games, we've had some good performances against other teams that we haven't got anything out of. And
we got a result against Ashford, which we couldn't do last weekend. So
yeah. Well, funny. We always really do well at Ashford. It's ironic. It's one of the teams that we seem to do well against, Ashford away. But yeah, we played Broadbridge, who were up the top. They were in 10th. I think we got a draw with them. That was quite a good performance. We would have taken that if you'd offered it us to before the game, probably. So and we see, we always have good games against you guys. They're always hard fought derbies with a lot of people on both sides who know each other. I mean, I was looking at your team from the weekend. I think you've got about 7 guys in your squad from the weekend that have got Phoenix connections or played for Phoenix, or certainly in the 18s and the 23s back in the day, like Tom Ash, and you've got a lot of boys. Some of them were playing for us last season. So
yeah, and also as well, you've got to remember, because of the geographical location, a lot of our youth teams play. I think one of our under-10s or under-9s is playing against Phoenix this weekend or something like that. So there you go, a bit more spice for the fans. But that's the question I was going to ask. Funny enough, again, it's a local game, and to be fair, the way the Ifmy and South East teams have been drawn this year, there's not too many local derbies, is there really? So how are you guys looking at this one?
We'll get some more people through the gate. I mean, as you say, you play a team that's quite far away and they don't bring any supporters at all. I mean, we played Broadbridge the other week. I think only 3 of their board turned up as well. So it was probably the lowest crowd of the season. It was awful. There was hardly anybody there. But then, I'm not sure if you played Herne Bay at home yet. They tend to bring a few. Sittingbourne, Ramsgate, some of the Kent coast sides. So to have a club like Erith, who we've obviously got good relations with and know quite well, hopefully we'll get a decent crowd, and it'll be a decent game for the crowd as well, because it's nice when you've got people there,
Yeah,
it gives it a bit of an atmosphere, and if the game lives up to it as well, then it's worthwhile doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at the game then, who do you think your danger men are? Who have we got to be on the lookout for now?
Probably our most informed player at the moment is Isaac Thompson. Scored twice at Ashford the other week. Scored again on Saturday, set the winner up. He was at Phoenix last season, didn't work out particularly for him. I think he went to Beckenham. He did really well there. And then he's come across with Darren and Bradley and Sam. And he's taken him a little bit of time to find his feet in the team. But the last couple of weeks, he's been playing really well. There's a couple of other boys. Kai, our captain, Kai Martin, he's been playing quite well. It's difficult at the minute. They're still trying to find the right blend out of the squad of the players. So
yeah.
So where are the goals coming from?
I think Richard Pingling's our top scorer. I'm not sure. He's got quite a few penalties this season. I know that.
I was actually just looking at your goal scorers. Richard Pingling's on 6, so it says. So and then you've got Deshane Darling, who's on 3, along with a couple of others, Joe Thomas, Isaac Thompson, and then there's a whole bunch of people we just won. So it looks like you're sharing them around, but
I think it's the turnover of players. I mean, Joe's not with us anymore, Joe Thomas. The ones that you mentioned, Deshaun's still there, obviously Isaac and Richard, they're all the new intake that have come in with the current management structure. So they're the ones that who've been pinging the goals about. But hopefully they'll carry on to get some more.
So who else? Wingers, midfielders, how's your back 4 lining up?
We've had a couple of injuries lately. So Bradley Pritchard has been filling in everywhere really. He's played in midfield. He's played at the back. We've got a couple of new fullbacks that have come in. Have had a couple of games. It's still I couldn't pick you the team for Wednesday, even from Saturday, because it changes. I think we've had a couple of suspensions. I think we've just got one guy back from the 3, got sent off. Perry, he came back and played at the weekend after a 3-game ban. Deshane got a 1-game ban for 2 yellows and for his red. So it still changes all the time, but it's starting to settle down. I think probably Isaac's going to be our main striker, I would assume, without giving too much away. I couldn't tell you the midfield because Darren rotates it quite a lot, depending on who we're playing. So, and our squad has been depleted with a couple of injuries and suspensions. So I think, the other week we had 5 probably boys out that would have started if they'd been available. And I think we probably just got all of them back probably for this game this week.
Looking at the league table again, like we say a little while ago, you was like proper rooted on the bottom. You're now up to 20th, 3 points away from safety. But to be honest, and it sounds like I'm being negative. I don't mean to be, but you've got a 34 goal difference with Lancing's minus 26 and minus 13. That's a point in itself, Claggy, isn't it? Hopefully for Erith you don't plug the defence, but is that an area where you've really got to plug?
Yeah, so I say we have some decent games where we win and then we go and have a mare like we did at Croydon and ship 5 in for no, it's just everything went wrong. Our centre half got injured after 6 minutes. He had to go off. It was just one of them games. Everything went wrong. They did start well, Croydon. To be fair, they're a completely different side from the Croydon that I saw earlier in the season. And they just swamped us. And so we lost our centre half and we were really struggling. I think then one of our fullbacks got a knock. He had to come off as well. So I don't think we've had a settled back 4 for quite a number of games now. And I think that's the problem. And the goal difference is mental. I think Hythe are minus 36, and that's only because we beat them the other day. It's it is defensively. We've got to plug that gap if we're going to start picking up points.
Well, that's what we said with Littlehampton a little while ago. Don't get me wrong. Like I thought the win over Littlehampton for Erith was a little bit more comprehensive than we thought it was going to be, didn't we, Rob? But with like Littlehampton, their goal difference isn't too shabby. Like when they lose, they don't lose heavily. So, like we say, it's a little bit of a mountain to climb. And quite frankly, like every team, you don't want it to go to goal difference as you get towards the end of the season.
And a lot of the goals that we're shipping are individual mistakes because we haven't got the consistency of the same players playing with each other week in, week out because of the injuries and stuff. So we have been making some shocking individual mistakes, and that needs, Darren's quite aware that's got to be cut out. You can't legislate for that, can you?
No, exactly. I think the thing is as well is that it actually said from what you're saying, considering how the results are going, the league table, all that kind of jazz, like you would think that morale would be quite low, but from what you're saying, it sounds still pretty high. You've gone through a turbulent time, but one thing for me with Phoenix is that over the years, but even before I got involved with Erith, I went down there a few times to watch them play. A Sheppey game a couple of years ago, a late 2-2 was one that sticks in my memory in the summertime. That you could really that's a really nice little unique kind of ground in the sense that quite similar to Eastbourne Town and a little bit similar with Erith as well. You could really harness that fan base because you could be so close to the pitch, right, especially over that far side leaning over. Is that something that the management are trying to do to really feed off the crowd?
Yeah, I think they are. And the boys are. The Hythe game at the weekend, it was a great atmosphere in the second half when we started getting on top of them and had a few chances and obviously, screaming at the officials because all the fans that line up down on the dugout side, there's the wooden fence up. So they're raised up a little bit, so they're above that level. And it was great. And the fans are always pretty good. I think it's like yourselves. If you see your team giving 100%, you'll get behind them. Even it doesn't always work out in your favour, but you just want your boys to go out and have a go, don't you? And they certainly did that weekend. And even the substitutions we made at the end, and then to get a winner in the 87th minute, which was I think was justified. I think we were the better side second half for sure. And then it just gives a great feeling, and we come off from that game after being drubbed at Croydon two days earlier, and you're going into the game against you guys with a bit of an uplift, and with another home game as well, it makes it even better. And New Year's Day, hopefully, we'll say with a big crowd, and you'll bring a few down like you normally do. So it hopefully will bode well, and hopefully we can pull out another Ashford performance rather than a Croydon one.
Well, you hope.
Yeah. Clearly, we don't want that to happen.
No.
So, how's the pitch looking? Because Wednesday's forecast to be absolutely horrendous weather.
Our pitch always drains quite well. A lot of the teams that haven't played at our pitch before come and moan about it. I can't remember, we played the other week, and I think we beat them, and they were scathing about the pitch. It's not the greatest pitch in the world. I'm sure you've seen it, and we put our hands up, but it drains well. It's a little bit bobbly in places, but that's non-league football, isn't it? We can't.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Pitch, and it's the same for both teams, and we'll just see what happens. It adds to exciting football anyway.
Yeah, it's a great leveler, but also it's going to be apparently very windy, like big gusts of wind.
Yeah, I saw that today. I had a look today. It's saying 47-mile-an-hour winds, which will be interesting. Depends which way the wind comes. It usually comes across our pitch if it's that windy, rather than down it. Obviously, we've got the golf course at the other end with all the trees that tend to block it off.
Right.
So, but let's hope it's not. The forecast isn't accurate, because it's meant to be absolutely pelting it down with rain as well.
Yeah. Not great for playing in, but certainly not what you want to be standing around in the open watching it.
No, but we've got the three stands that people can huddle in, especially the one behind the goal. We can all stand in there and get. We put a new cover up just outside the clubhouse now as well, so there's shelter there, so there's plenty of shelter. But as you say, we'd rather have the game played in dry and not wind. Wind ruins the game of football. It's the worst condition to play in, as we all.
So we'll wrap this up now, because as we say, you've got a big event coming up soon, which again we'll touch on in a minute. But how do you think the game will go? How do you think the score will be? Give us a prediction.
It's how both teams start. Whatever team you pick out. I mean, we all know that Woody's quite fond of playing players who previously played against the team, who previously played for the team that he's playing against. So you could pack it out with ex-Phoenix. I'm sure Mr. Leppard would love to have a run around and boot a few Phoenix boys up in the air. I'll get on really well with Luke. He was obviously a bit of a cult figure at Phoenix when he played for us. I don't know. I think the first goal, whoever gets the first goal, could be the team that push on and win it. But we were 1-0 down after 2 minutes on Saturday. Came back and won. So I really don't know. I really couldn't predict this. I'd like to say we're going to win, and I hope we do. So I've got to go for Phoenix. So I'll go for the old bog standard, sit on the fence, Phoenix 2, Erith 1.
Oh. Rob, what we going for?
It's as good a call as any. I'm going to go for a comfortable 3-0 to the Dockers, because I've got to go with that.
And I'm going to, do you know what? I'm going to go for a 2-0 Erith Town, I think, to mirror what the first game was. But here's what we'll do, Claggy, because you've obviously got to be on your way. You've had your hair done, and that's not me being sarcastic. I hear that you've got a wedding in the next couple of days. Come on, give us the details.
Tomorrow, my daughter Louise gets married to Chris. Tomorrow, New Year's Eve, in Tunbridge Wells. So we're all going down for that momentous occasion. It's going to be.
Are you
great.
on the door?
I'm not on the door. I will be performing my father of the bride duties, but I will be back in the turnstile hut on Wednesday. I don't know what state I'll be in, but I will be in there. So
you got your speech ready.
It's a slightly different kind of wedding. I'm not doing a speech tomorrow. Speeches are my daughter's changed the way that the wedding will be. So I'm not actually doing a speech tomorrow, but there's plenty of other people who are. There's a few other things happening which I can't divulge at this occasion, but it will come out later, I'm sure. But yeah, so I'd just like to say everyone who is coming to the game on Wednesday, hopefully the weather holds off and it does play. You might have to wait a little bit longer at the turnstiles for me to sort the money in the card machine out. So I might still be a little bit. I can't see me getting home too early. It's certainly not going to be leaving until 1 a.m. So
my daughter got married earlier in the summer, and what you're going to be counting in thing is your own money, because I'm still paying for it now. This many months later.
We won't go into that side of things, but
my children are all boys, and the oldest is 13. So hopefully he doesn't get engaged or getting married anytime soon. So I don't have to worry about that one. But all the best to what did you say your daughter's name was? Louise
and Chris getting married tomorrow. 31st.
Louise and Chris, all the best from Erith Town. And one final thing I will say, it's a shame that we didn't get to know your dad earlier, because we could have live podded the entire wedding.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been fast. You probably have had to pay a fee to get it. Let's put it that way.
Oh, there we are. Or they would have had to pay us, because we are finalists in the Football Content Award. But no, thank you very much for your time. I hope it all goes well. And
look forward to seeing you both down there on Wednesday.
Yep, see you down there Wednesday, mate. Take care.
See ya.
Thank you very much.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.